up.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Voice is Clown.
Not Clown. Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Welcome to issue 128 or episode 128 of Two Fat Guys Pull Us. We are glad that you're here watching live, and if you're not watching live and watching this as a past episode, welcome, and sit back, relax. We got a doozy of a show, you know. I mean, next week's show is gonna be a double doozy, if you will, but we'll get to that in a moment. But first, before we even get started,
hey,
listen. We need to talk about what you need to do if you're watching this live or as a past episode. Make sure to hit that like button and ring that bell and smash the subscribe button. Okay, just get it right off the bat. Let's get that done. Okay, because we got stuff to do, we got stuff to talk about, but those are very important things that we would love for you to do. So make sure to hit those things. First of all, we need to talk about our show sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is our LCS that me and Nate go to. Ron and Brent over there are amazing, and they hook us up, they help us out, they put our pulls together, they make some recommendations, they let us play our show in the shop so people can see and be informed about what they should pick up. So if you're ever in the DFW area, we would love for you to go to Collected Comics and Games here. And they've got two locations, one in West Fort Worth and then one in Keller. So make sure to hit up Collected Comics and Games. The other thing we'd love for you to do is to go over to their website, which is called brainycomics.com. Let me pull it up here really quick. Brainycomics.com is their awesome website where you can go and do some online shopping. You get exclusive and variant covers, bundles, bad idea books, new comics, mystery bags, back issues, graphic novels, games, toys and collectibles, and even trading cards. So go over there if you're feeling like you want to spend a little bit of cash.
Cardboard ones?
I don't know about those. I got to talk to Ron about getting some of them Fleer upper deck cards because I'm only missing like 3 out of the 90 out of the 2022 Ultra Fleer. So, but head on over to BrainyComics.com, pick up, do a little bit of shopping if you will, if you got a little bit of cash, a little bit extra cash. And then once you're done shopping, before you check out, we'd love for you to go up to that search bar and type in Two Fat Guys Pull List. And when you do, this will pop up. It is a Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade or mystery, or it's a mystery upgrade or premium upgrade. What you do is you put this little upgrade into your cart. And when you end up getting shipped your books and they come to your house, there will be, if you did the standard upgrade for $8, you'll get one mystery exclusive cover comic, or if you do the premium for $15, you get 2. Now you're probably asking, well, what do those look like? Well, if you go to the front page, these are all the variant and exclusive covers that Ron has currently in the shop. These are the most updated ones, but he has a huge, massive back catalog of covers that you can potentially win. Not win, but rip, if you will. I don't know how you would say it. Get. There's been opening too many packs of cards, but anyway, yeah, I got some really cool ones. I really dig this Strange Academy Finals #4. It's really good with magic on there. The Immoral X-Men with the Queen, with the White Queen on there. There's some crazy good covers. So head on over to BrainyComics.com. Do a little bit of shopping. Make sure to put that Two Fat Guys Pull List upgrade in your cart, whether it's the premium or just the standard. And let us know when your stuff comes in the mail, what you got. Let us know. Tag us in our socials, and let us know exactly what you won or pulled from Ron and Brent over there. So that will do it for that part of the business. As always, like I said at the beginning of the show, if you're not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. We're in the middle of a milestone giveaway. We're going to give away some really cool stuff when we hit 850 subscribers, and better yet, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're giving away some really cool stuff. For 850, you know the deal. It's going to be this John Stewart Green Lantern #1 retailer incentive. Pretty kick-ass. And when we hit 1,000, we're giving away this Original Sin tie-in Amazing Spider-Man #4, first appearance of Silk. So make sure that you are subscribed and you do not miss those giveaways. We want to do it, but we only can do it when we hit those milestones. So, all right, let's get to chat really quick. What up, John? Patty, how are you doing? Let's get it. Comics Joe. Love that World 33 cover. Yep, there's some good stuff in there. Yeah, some really good stuff. All right, let's talk about this week. So there was a decent amount of books this week. Nothing compared to what we're going to be dealing with next week, but we'll get to that at a later date, quite literally. But this week was really fun. I thought that there were some really, really exciting and fun books. Before the show started, me and Nate were trying to figure out what our picks of the week are, and I think we figured it out, but damn was it hard, because there were some really good books this week. I think you said there weren't any books that were just 100%.
Yeah, like blowaways, but there's a lot of really good books.
Yeah, for sure. But we'll get right into it. We're going to kick out the show as we always do around this time or this week, and that's going to be Amazing Spider-Man issue #24. You know, I said it on our new comic book day video that this might be my last book. And it's just,
it wouldn't be.
I know it wouldn't be because the artist is changing, but put that aside, I am not loving this story right now. Even though we started to, you can start to piece together what the hell's going on with Mary Jane and Peter. But I left reading the book after kind of getting an idea of what's going on with them and what, you know, the big crisis is. I left finishing it and just kind of sitting there going like, but why do I care? Like, it just, I don't care. And that's really unfortunate because Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters. I really dig Spider-Man. But, you know, okay, so it's a time jump. So you've been gone for an hour, but the people back in that other reality clearly have had a relationship and now they have full-grown kids. Great. Okay, but why do I care?
With big-ass heads.
Yeah, well, okay, well, it's a given that John Romita Jr.'s work is just poo-poo. But, you know, we can't keep bashing that drum. You know, it's just a given. But for Wells, I feel like this book does not feel or remind me of what you told me it was when it first started. It just feels like it's been in a free fall since Dark Web.
Well, it is not what it started as. That is for sure. I mean, what it started as, and what I was hoping it would be, with that Tombstone story specifically, was a back to the small stuff, back to the streets, back to the nitty gritty, back to what Spider-Man was known for a long time, and that was just street level hero stuff, and dealing with the ethics of the streets, so to speak, and being a hero and being a not a villain, but being a crook, being, you know, someone who makes their living off of breaking the law. It just, all this small level stuff is what it seemed like. And here, you know, that's where we're at, issues 1 through 5, and then we had the 2 different issue arcs of like the Hobgoblin and stuff like that. That was good. And then all of a sudden, here we are on issue 25, and we're doing time jump, space warp, Future Family Edition, which is the complete opposite of that. And so I think that is what is not resonating with a lot of readers. Is it felt like this started out as, man, this feels like a back to basics Spider-Man story, which we want because we've been doing this really weird shit for a long time, Sin Eater stuff and the whole 9 yards. Here we are now doing this stuff with Mary Jane. They're still not together. She's got a family from an alternate dimension. It's just, I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I want to finish this up. I want to see what this has to do. I think we got 2 more issues of this arc. And then and issue 28, I believe, is when Ed McGuinness picks up. They do the Doc Ock stuff, which doesn't look very interesting. That will probably be the jumping off point for me too. I also, by the way, I read this book in like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was quick.
It was very quick.
Yeah, comparative to other books that we had on our pool, it was just the substance was very lacking. Outside of the ending,
it's not even that it wasn't like structured well or written well. I mean, if anything, I think that John Romita, for the most part, did a pretty good job once again on the non-facial stuff, on the really like wacky, crazy, like, oh, this full splash page where he's like going through the time zone. Like, that's cool. It was really good, but
no, the dude cannot draw faces
so quickly.
Yeah, it's just not. He's not capable of doing it. Let's see here. Joe, I felt so bad for Peter when he finally got back to MJ, and then he sees that. Wow, it felt like a kicked in the gut. No, I think there were genuine emotions when that happened, and for a split second, I was like, "Oh, that fucking sucks." And then I was like, "Again, why do I care?" You know, like this doesn't feel like it. Yeah, clearly that's a big deal, right? But to me, what did Peter do? You know, like that was the whole thing when this got started, right? Like in Free Comic Book Day, it was that like, find out what Peter did, right?
And so far, Peter's done nothing.
Peter's done nothing but try to stay in that reality. MJ kicked him out, right? She did it. So unless when he gets back, he's like, fuck your kids, they got to stay here, you're coming with me. Like that's the only thing that I can realize, or that I would assume would set MJ off in that statement of what did Peter do.
But don't we see the kids in the 616?
Say what?
Don't we see the kids though?
We do, but I'm just wondering if like
happen.
Well, maybe he tries to throw out the argument, and I'm literally I'm pulling at straws here, but I'm just saying maybe
this is all stuff that's in the past. This is all stuff that's
correct, but maybe they had a conversation prior to them coming in, and he got superseded. Like, you can't bring your kids, and she's like, "Fuck you, I'm bringing my kids," and you're like, "But you know," I just saying like that's to me the only thing that would make any sense for why you would make a statement like, "What did Peter do?" And right now, like you said, Peter has done nothing except try to save MJ when she pushed him out of the reality thingy. So I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like, if that's not the case, or maybe he's like, they have that conversation and he's like, the only way we can get back is if we kill your kids because they're not real. And she's like, no, and you're like, you know,
no, not my kids.
Oh, I know. Whatever.
Joe, I think that's what you're kind of supposed to do. Joe says, I like to put myself in Peter's shoes when I read Spider-Man. I think that's kind of what they want you to do with Spider-Man is to do that because
right.
What am I trying? He's like the everyman kind of hero, you know?
Yeah, right. Anyway, I'm not impressed. And I just don't, you know, I don't know. I'm past the criticism of John Romita Jr. John Romita Jr. is going to be what John Romita Jr. is.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the story for me is lacking, and so I just got to move on. All right, let's move over. All right.
Oh yeah, you do this.
Move on to Avengers Assemble Omega. This is the last and final book in Jason Aaron's massive 5-year run on the Avengers. I feel like he stuck the landing, but it didn't feel as monumental as like his War of Realms. I felt like when that ended, I was just like, dude, you know what I mean? Like when I read that and it everything ended and like Valkyrie got, you know, Jane Foster was set up as Valkyrie and, you know, just all this cool shit. Like it felt game changing. Yeah. And there are game changing things that happen in this book. But I don't know if it's solicitations. Excuse me. I got this tickle in my throat again.
Uh-oh. There it is.
I don't know if it's solicitations. If it's I don't know. The state of Marvel Comics. But it felt a tiny bit inconsequential.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. But it just didn't.
It's not changing the status quo of any of our heroes.
It didn't feel like that. Now, I may have missed something, but it just didn't feel like that. Now, Do we establish a whole new a new group of Avengers that are out in the God Quarry and they're going to be our Omniversal Avengers? Yes, and I am very excited about that because one of them is a Cosmic Stone or the Infinity Stone thing, which I want to know more about that character. I think that's a really cool character. We still have this Tony Stark Iron Man. We've got this Iron Fist Thor. Like, there are really cool variations of the character of certain characters that are going to continue to exist out in the God Quarry with the first Avenger or the final, whatever his name is, Loki. Avenger Prime. So in that instance, I thought it was really cool. There was one bit in the book that definitely pulled at my heartstrings, and it's because we've been following this character for so long, and that's Starbrand, and we get the original Phoenix, the primordial Phoenix, and Starbrand essentially fix the multiverse.
Okay.
That's maybe the status quo change, in the sense that this group, the Masters of Evil or whatever the fuck they're called, did a lot of damage. And so they essentially sacrificed themselves to reset the multiverse, to bring back those worlds. Does it work on all of them? No, because there's a set of Avengers that end up not getting their home worlds back, and so they stay at the Infinity, the God Quarry with Avenger Prime, and they are going to be the Omniversal Avengers who are going to fight that threat. Fucking cool. Great. But other than that, it just kind of felt okay, it ended, and it didn't. I'll say this: it didn't feel like it didn't stick. Like the landing felt like it stuck. But knowing where we're going next, right? Knowing where we're going with the Avengers, knowing where we're going with the rest of the team, and with where Marvel's headed, with symbiotes, and with the X-Men, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I thought I saw in a panel that there's going to be an Uncanny Avengers coming out. I might be wrong on that, but I felt like I read somewhere that like Gary Jerry's involved with that. But there's just some cool shit going on, and I think the one criticism I would give is, and I think a lot of people would agree with this, hopefully, is that Jason Aaron's Avengers run went way too long. It just went way too long. And I'm sure the pandemic had something to do with that. But if I were to just give the entire run an overall score, I'd probably give it 7.2. 7.2 because the front end was just so strong. Like, the front end was really good and engaging and exciting, and then we kind of got into this lull during the pandemic, and then we got into Heroes Reborn, and we are kind of like, what are we doing here? And then we got to this back end, and it was really cool. It felt good. So I think overall I'd give it a 7.2. Would I buy the omnibus? No. I think I have my floppies, and I'm sticking to it. So, what up, Empire? Joe, nothing about the Avengers really connected with me with overall Marvel status quo. If they give Thor the power of the Phoenix, then he would destroy Thanos coming up. I think so. That was the other thing. There was definitely like a, hey, I had fun with my toy, but I'm resetting their power levels. Just kidding, kind of thing. More specifically with Echo. Echo has lost the spirit of the Phoenix, so she's no longer the Phoenix, and they kind of can't have that with her having an ongoing coming up with Daredevil. Like it just wouldn't make sense for her to be a street level hero, and she's like, Phoenix powers, right. So she's got to lose them somehow. And I almost have a feeling, and they didn't really address this in the issue, but I've got to assume Thor probably doesn't have his Phoenix powers or his ability to call upon fire anymore after this as well, even though he did a Kamehameha with his fire shit. So yeah, I think that's kind of where I leave it. I think there were plenty of resets that happened in the book that we will see the status quo of characters come back down to normal, and then they'll be played upon again with McKay. Calvin asks, what's your favorite Avengers arc? Ooh, it was definitely at the beginning, and I need to look at
Oh, that is a good...
You know what? I'm going to say something, and it's going to be really dumb, and you're not going to agree with it, and that's okay.
Okay.
My favorite arc that comes to mind, right? That I'm not, because I can't remember.
Okay.
Was Fist of Khonshu. I kind of liked that one.
Oh God.
I really liked the Fist of Khonshu run. I thought that was a fun arc. It came out. Did it make sense? And did it make sense in the timeline? No, absolutely not. It made no goddamn sense because it was just like bam, Fist of Khonshu. But if you take that out, if you just took it out and put it over here, and just to me, I thought it was really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a cool concept. I liked seeing Moon Knight be OP and just being like, oh, Mjolnir, made out of moonstone, blink, just oh, your Iron Fist or whatever, just I'm taking that, just it was cool to see Moon Knight just be 100% OP. I thought that was cool. So
I would probably say the first arc, the what are those called? Where the Avengers Mountain Celestials?
Oh, the Celestial arc.
Celestial
Yeah, that was
arc.
pretty good.
That was probably my favorite arc. I'm looking back at the issues now.
Yeah, I am too.
I don't remember this run as favorably as I thought I did. The Starbrand Reborn arc, I did enjoy that one.
So someone who asked, Joe, is the World War She-Hulk? No, because it's a total letdown. It is not what it is. She's essentially the Russian, the Avengers, the Russian Avengers, or the Red, whatever they're called. Essentially, like Red Agent her, like they sleeper cell her, and then it ends up being a trap for them. So it wasn't what it was. What it was billed out to be was supposed to be this, we all know what World War Hulk was, right? And it just wasn't that. It was name only. So, and even though I love the character, I love She-Hulk, it just was not that. I think when
I officially jumped off. I was like, oh no, this is not gonna work for me.
The weakest arc for me was the Phoenix tournament. I thought that was dumb.
Yeah, that was what did it for me too. It was that, and then it had a really bad King of Black tie-in, and I was just like, I'm out of here.
The World War
Joe, you jumped on probably at the best time. Issue 50.
World War She-Hulk was a cool name, but it didn't work. I think when they fought Cosmic Ghost Rider, I did enjoy that. For me, Fist of Khonshu, I think was my favorite personally. And then I think after that, the arc that began the beginning of the end for his run, which was the fighting this omniversal war. It was really cool. God, I'm looking at it now, and it's so big. There's just a lot of books. It's crazy.
So big, but not a ton of memories.
Oh, I remember that too. I did. Yeah, you know what? In the Celestial arc, I did like where Thor and She-Hulk go to Asgard, and they unlock her. They both unlock on powers. That was pretty. You know what? You're right. That's probably that's the best arc. Even though, so I'll do.
That's pretty tough. Out of 65 issues, your first 5 are your best.
But I think it would be that, then Khonshu, then the end. That's what it is for me. So.
All right.
Let's let the whole Phoenix concept rest. 100%. Okay, let's keep moving on. We've dwelled.
Get out of here with this.
Get out of here. All right, let's talk about Hellcat. Are we having 2 picks of the week? Like, are we having?
I mean, at this point, half the books are picks of the week because we couldn't decide. But
okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and push this button because this is our Marvel pick of the week.
That's the gas pick of the week.
This is our Marvel pick of the week. This book was, there are people that adamantly hate this book, and they can all go themselves because I just think they're silly. Let's talk about all the good things, right? Because it was very hard for me to find a bad thing about this book. Artwork, phenomenal.
Great.
Pacing and fluidity of the book, 100%. Writing and engagement, 100%. Because when the book ended, I was like, wait a minute, I just started reading.
Like, wait, no.
And it's not a case like Spider-Man where, oh wait a minute, I just start reading, but it just feels wrong. There was plenty of substance in this book. Plenty of substance in this book. It's so engaging. The material is so engaging that it ends too quick. You know, it's there. You can't say that there ain't enough words in the book.
Yeah.
Apparently John likes the idea or loves that we picked this book. It was just good.
Good.
From a Hellcat book, I didn't know what I was expecting, but one thing I wasn't expecting, but I'm glad it's here, is there's some body horror in this book. Like, we still see the dude that got murdered in this book, and he's like in the fused to the floorboards of an apartment complex. I don't know, man. And then this whole, like, again, Cantwell, McKay, Gary Jerry, who else? Kelly Thompson. I'm missing some, but there are a lot of writers currently from Marvel that are pulling out these D-list characters and making them relevant and making them interesting and making readers go, well, I gotta learn more. I gotta know more about this character. And it's that, I'll just say it right now. It feels like Marvel is doing a better job at engaging readers in that sense than DC. Because when that happens in DC books, I'm like, wait, who is that and why do I care? Like, I don't know.
Well,
but
and I think that's a testament to Cantwell too, that he's taken the history of Hellcat, and the character in the history itself has been so wild as a character that was, I mean, technically she's one of the oldest characters in all of Marvel because she was before the Marvel 616 even started.
What up, Jane?
And then she gets used in like backup books or like smaller books like the Defenders. Then she gets mixed up with Son of Satan, and it's just like all this weird, bizarre stuff. But Cantwell has taken all of her history and really pushed the dynamic of like a flawed character that you care for and you're like, we're hoping so bad she can just get her shit together. And I think part of that strength is what he wrote with her in Iron Man. And we wanted them to be successful and we wanted them to help each other out. And that didn't work, but we still want her to do well. And I think that's kind of what led us to this book. And now it's like seeing the anguish is tough. Pulls on the heartstrings a little bit.
Well, yeah, and it we're dealing with the spiritual, we're dealing with the demonic in this book, but this book feels like what Daredevil felt like at the beginning. It's just kind of street level, gritty, getting your ass kicked, can't catch a break, like, and I didn't know that I was gonna get that in this book, and I fucking love it. So, yeah, Marvel pick of the week, Hellcat issue number 2. Can't wait for 3. If you're not reading it, I highly well, you know what? I can't say I highly recommend it because there are some people, like, that's just not the way they read their books. And if you weren't invested in the Iron Man run from Cantwell, then this is just gonna, I think that's a decent build up to that character. We got a really good introduction from that book. And I just don't know if this book would be beneficial in jumping right into. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe check it out and maybe you like it. Who knows? John, I'm hoping to see the Patsy-Tony relationship continue eventually. I am too.
Both are.
All right, next up we have Nightcrawlers, issue number 3 from Sinister and Cy Spurrier. I will say this. Issue 2 was like, like total, like, I don't know what the fuck happened in that book. Issue 3, there was a little bit of that. I mean, actually, there was a lot of that in this book. Because again, Cy Spurrier, he just expects you to know what he's thinking. And I'm like, I don't know. But it does lay the groundwork for the Omega that's coming up next week. Where it really doesn't matter what version of Sinister you are, you're going to get outplayed. Either by yourself, quite literally, or by some other twist of fate. And so we've got this Mother Righteous who is is an Essex. She's a female version. She's the Hearts Essex, or Heart Sinister, whatever you want to call her.
Mm-hmm.
And she has her own ends, right? She's got her own whatever she's trying to achieve. Does it feel as sinister as Sinister? No, but it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like it's gonna benefit the mutants. Maybe I'm wrong. We are getting a whole nother series of books soon that's dealing with the fall of X, and she's kind of centered around this from Spurrier. So, yay, get to read more Cy Spurrier X-Men books. Yeah, the ending was like a wet fart. I can't lie to you though. I was a bit intrigued when we saw Moira, pick up the whatever the fuck it was. Was it a heart? I don't remember. I was so confused. I don't know what that means, what the heart means, or the whole concept of what we're doing here is insane. But to see Moira go, oh shit, I got an ability to go back and reset. That's concerning. That's concerning. So we'll see how it ends. There's the way that the X office is touting this is that there will be consequence. Like,
yeah,
supposedly there will be consequence going into the fall. So we'll have to wait and see.
I have nothing to add to this book.
I have nothing to add.
I literally I got a couple pages in and was like, I don't remember any of this. So I looked at the pictures and was like, okay, got it. Oh, there's more. Okay, go. Let's read Omega.
Yeah.
Dominion, I guess is what it's
well,
called.
and that's really unfortunate because I know you like Spurrier, but I just feel like his X books are just not up to par. They're just
yeah. No, the love-hate relationship I have with Cy Spurrier is really strange right now. So.
Well, it's like they're so dense. It's stupid. You know what I mean? It's detrimental to the book and what we're trying to achieve. It's it's almost like, I'm smart. And you're like, yeah, well, you can go sit over there in your corner because no one gives a fuck. That's what it feels like. And I hate saying that, but that's just how this book feels. It's like, oh, you're just not on our level. And I'm like, I don't think anybody is, Cy. I think you're just over there just having a good old time. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on over there? Just give me the, and I don't know. I'm sure Comic Book Herald has a different view on it, but I haven't watched his videos in a minute, so I need to go back and see. Maybe he doesn't like it either, but it is the weakest book, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
In all of the X line. So John, 50-50 on buying this event when the hardcover comes out. I can't stand reading Cy. His style is so dull, but the rest seems amazing. Bruh, the struggle.
I would for sure skip the hardcover for this. It is a 11 issue hardcover for $75.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Skip that shit. You are getting fucked.
The only
11 issues for $75 is rude, and they're taking advantage of people that want to have all the nice spines that look perfect on the shelf, which is what I fell into for a long time. And that's the only reason they know they can charge that and people will buy it because of that. That should be $50 absolute max.
Yeah, and John says that these books are unnecessarily dense. Cy's X books are just, I think his first one what was it? It was House of X or whatever. I don't remember what it was. It was the Faith one. The very first Cy Spurrier X book, which dealt with Way of X. It started off really cool, and then it just got fucking weird, and not in a good way. The only way, and this is just me personally, the only way I'm buying a Sins of Sinister hardcover is if there's a Mark Brooks cover, because all of my hardcovers are Mark Brooks, store incentives. So if there is one of those, then I'll probably get it. But yeah, I'm literally only doing it for that. I'm not I'm not doing it for anything but that. So when Cy wrote, I wrote that. Damn them all book. All book is good, but still really, really dense. Yep. Okay, let's keep going. She-Hulk, issue number 12, Legacy 175. Y'all know the drill. Y'all could absolutely hate this book, and I wouldn't give a shit. I loved it. It's not my pick of the week, though, which is saying a lot. But that's because Hellcat was just that good. But She-Hulk was it was very close for me. And it's almost like I feel like I can't pick it as my pick of the week because I just love the character so much, and I'm in love with Rainbow Rowell's writing that I have to say, like, it's obvious. Like, Lee, if you're watching the show right now, you know to put She-Hulk on my pick of the week shelf no matter what, even if it doesn't make my pick of the week, because it is. But I really enjoyed it. We get a little bit of, we get a whole issue. Don't spoil the ending. I won't. We get a little bit of what happened in the last issue here. So half the book is that. And then the other half is a fun little one-shot from Rainbow that, She-Hulk starts a book club. And it was a little slice of life. It was a little bit of a slice of life issue at the back end, and the artwork fantastic. And some things do change. Like there are some shifts within She-Hulk's life that happen in that book, within that one shot, which it's really cool. We see her kind of getting back on her feet, which is kind of neat. And going back to the previous part of the issue where we're dealing with the main story. The interaction between Jennifer and Jack Hartz is still just got me loving life. I want more. I don't know, man. This book is just good. I know it's not for everyone, and that's okay. But for me, I can't get enough of Rainbow Rowell's She-Hulk, and I think this book is fantastic. I think it's a really good balance for when you're reading, X-Men, and we're just dealing with thousands of Brood being lasered off by Cyclops because he wants to just go, have a casual genocide. So I can't say anything but good things about this book. I literally can't say anything negative about it. I think it's a great book, and if you're even a hint curious of reading a She-Hulk book, but you feel embarrassed or you just don't feel like it's, a book that you could ever get into, give it a shot, and if it's something that you've been wanting to, but it's in that former category of like you feeling embarrassed picking it up, don't feel embarrassed. Just pick it up, man. It's a good book. It's really fun. Lee, this is my other Marvel pick of the week, so just put it on the shelf, please. I just put it up there. All right, again, I'm doing a lot of the talking because I got most of the books. Got X-Force issue number 39.
Oh, yes.
Reshuffling of the team. So it would appear that Wolverine is no longer on the X-Men team. This kind of happens pre-Gala. And Colossus is joining the X-Force team. And we all know the ramifications of that because he's that sleeper Russian agent. And it looks like Beast is no longer the head of... Joe, embarrassed? We read comics. We don't care. I know, but there are some people that, there might be some people out there that feel like I can't pick up She-Hulk. It's for girls. I'm like, shut up. Pick up the book. As for X-Force, Benjamin Percy is still writing the book. They're kind of like, again, they're wrapping up certain things. There is a big reveal at the end, which I think it's keeping me intrigued and keeping me pulling the book. But I just have to wonder when the reboot happens and if this book makes it. I think X-Force obviously is still continuing on into the fall of X, but there's a lot of ridiculous shit going on in it with Beast and our main Wolverine no longer. So we're still got a Wolverine in the group. Great. But it's going to be this Wolverine. It won't be our Logan. So finally, Logan is no longer on the book. So maybe that'll help me go and pick up Wolverine because I'm not getting a double dose. But as of right now, Logan is no longer on the team. So we have, his daughter or his clone, and then Colossus is on it. So, shit's about to get crazy with Colossus being on the team because we know he's a sleeper agent for Russia. So we'll just have to see where it goes. But spoilers. So if you don't want to hear this, mute it until you see the cover change. Kid Omega comes back, and he literally opens a portal, and he shows up, and he's 100 years old, and he's got a giant psychic sword, and he's got glasses and a beard, and he's like, I need your help, guys. And you're like, where the fuck have you been? So there's some intrigue there, right? Kid Omega was a real bright spot on this book, and when they killed him off, everyone was like, well, what the fuck, and then we got into this weird dynamic with Beast in the group. So I'm kind of happy that the book is kind of moving into a different direction, back to a direction that we remembered liking.
Mm.
But for how long? Right? For how long? We'll have to wait and see. Righteous Genocide. The politics of why they won't take down Beast is ridiculous. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Didn't they put Sabretooth in the pit for killing humans? Yep. It is just all over the place. Joe, wish y'all was reading Wolverine. This is a slap. This would slap better. X-Force is good. My Marvel book of the week. Interesting. Sabretooth is with the bunch of other Sabretooths from the different universes. Such a dope book. Oh yeah, that's right. He got out of the pit. That's right. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's jump over to DC and we kick it off with Batman Superman World's Finest, issue number 14, Who Killed Simon Stagg. I liked it. I thought it was good. Again, this is one of these books that kind of get us, it's doing the right thing for DC and intriguing new readers to be like, wait, who's this character? Why are they important? And reestablishing certain lore pieces within the DC universe. Yeah. Do I know what the fuck happened in this book and who the bad guy is at the end of it? Not a goddamn clue. I genuinely don't know who that is at the end.
Were we supposed to?
I feel like we were. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think that's what makes this book so appealing. You know, again, Wade and Maura are just on another level as a duo, as a creative duo that you could pretty much throw. I mean, they threw in the monkey character towards the end of that, you know, in World's Finest, and I was like, I don't care, sure, great, whatever, you know. But then we get into his, you know, the Lazarus shit. I was like, I don't give a shit about that character. But if it's in World's Finest, I do.
Yeah.
I think the best panel in this entire book is Robin riding Superman like a 25-cent ride machine that you put your kid on. Like that was the best part of this book.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, it was really funny. Well, it's either that, or it's Batman using what's his name as like a parachute glider.
Oh yeah, the Element dude. Yeah,
that was pretty good too.
Yeah,
this has a lot of fun humor in it.
Mm-hmm. It feels like a combination of the Batman the Animated Series and then like a fun kid version of the Justice League, right? Like, because there's just these like kind of quirky, 1970s cartoonish feels, like with Robin riding Batman or Batman using the Element dude as a glider, like shit like that. Last Mark Waid is doing it with the World's Finest. He's pulling from nostalgia. Metamorpho was in the original Bruce Timm Justice League show. I hope the story's telling expands it so grounded and nice. I 100% agree with that. I think it's just a really fun book. I think it intrigues. It scratches the itch for older readers and it scratches the itch for newer readers. And I know at some point we have to drop that. We have to drop that title of new reader and more of like a novice, somewhat seasoned DC reader. But right now I'm still going to hold on to that title of like noob when it comes to DC. Noob. But anyway, World's Finest. Thought it was great.
Yep, I loved it. I don't know if there's. This is one of those perfect books that when you're reading it, you're having a good time. You finish it, you want more. But at the same time, you're like, well, what was it about? You're like, it's a little this and that. I don't know.
Right. Well, listen.
That quick introduction of the Metal Men, I'm hoping maybe they get saved from that pit that they're in. Kind of looks like they're like melting in a pit, because it would be really cool if they brought in another team, a really, really, really random team that we know nothing about, and sort of just plug them in for an issue or two, like they did with whatever the other book you're reading right now.
Other book.
The team from the first two issues of World's Finest, Doom Patrol.
Oh, Doom Patrol, which comes out next week. Super stoked for that. Joe, halfway question. I have been witness. Am I writing that right? Witness for comics since I've been reading. I've noticed the vibe of graphic novel / comics don't get the same respect as other books. Why are comics looked down upon? I think
It's an anthropological question there.
Yeah, I know. You know, I think I understand what you're saying. I think there's definitely a shift going on though. You know, I think there's a shift when it comes to comic books. And I think that has a lot to do with manga. I think that has a lot to do with manga. And I think it also has a lot to do with the state of comic book movies and Disney and DC not so much, but they're trying. It's just making like, and I think I'll go more in the movie part of the argument, is, you know, those movies came out and it's like, oh yeah, comics are cool again. Right. Mm-hmm. And we all know comics were cool. You know, they were before that. Mm-hmm. But when you tell somebody like, hey, this storyline originated from X and you can actually go read it, I think is really important. And then I think that of the aspect of why it's changing because of manga, again, I go back to it. If you go to a Barnes and Noble or you go to a bookstore right now, and there are 5 or 6 shelves that are creating a giant U filled with material, and then literally right next to it are 2 other shelves with trades from DC and Marvel, and then another one that's all just independents, and they're not being neglected, right? There are people, and there are from young to old, engaging with the material and not giving 2 shits if someone's watching you look at it. Like I remember when I would go look at graphic novels and like you would have people in those bookstores kind of going like, that's not real. Those aren't real books. Like that's not a real medium. You need to read books that don't have pictures in them.
Right.
And I think that's shifted.
Well, I do for sure think that. I think Calvin hit on the point that I was going to make. Calvin said because comics are known for being absurd and they focus on superhero books, which tend to be for children or at least perceived to be. I think that's the subject right there, because it's not only comic books and graphic novels that have been looked down upon as a inferior form of literature, but it's also things like fantasy and science fiction. I mean, we didn't have our first traditional science fiction writers winning just basic fiction, literary fiction awards until like the 90s and 2000s, because it was just like, oh, well, that's a lesser form of literature. It's because you're not dealing with topics that, or at least they, the people that are in these positions to determine what is good and what is not. You're not dealing with like the same topics, or they think you're not because it has to do with superheroes. Of course, what they don't realize is that using superheroes as a backdrop to tell the same stories of sadness and loss and living life can make for just as, if not more, rich stories than just average Joes. And I think now we're finally getting to the where that's starting to shift more in books and novels and prose, but we're still not seeing that switch nearly as much in graphic novels or comics, because there's pictures, and pictures just automatically make them stuff.
But I also say this though, I think it's a generational thing too. Like I've seen plenty of videos and TikToks about dealing with this same kind of subject matter. Like I remember seeing this one woman who is our age, like in early to mid 30s, who was laughing, and she's like, are we really watching anime now? Like, are we seriously watching anime now? And we're like, no, yeah. And it's because we just don't give a shit. We like what we like. We're gonna read and watch and pursue the things that we want to. And I think that's liberating and freeing for a lot of us. And I think that's setting the example for other people that are maybe younger or even older than us, that are going like, well, shit, why do I care? Do you enjoy it? Does it give you some form of excitement and some kind of, just in general, I don't know, something to look forward to in your free time? Yeah. So who gives a fuck if there are pictures in it? How many comics have we read that have been just shell-shock emotional bombs, where just the writing hit, the sentiment hit, And the only way outside of the writing that could elevate what the writer was trying to express, the only way it could be accentuated was through picture, right? Like we are a visual, right, based species. We see things. We look at things first before we, get into the description of things. And so I would argue that it's shifting because of our generation. Because we just don't give a fuck anymore. We don't care what you think. We're gonna, you read comics? Yeah, I fucking do, and they're great. And when someone goes, "What are you doing tonight?" I'm like, "I'm reading," and you can say otherwise, but that's what I'm doing. Like it's 100% what I'm doing. And I think that starts at a base level, probably within school. Like it needs to be known that reading comic books, reading graphic novels, is a perfectly fine way to engage in reading, like in the form of reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just needs to be more acceptable. I don't know. Hopefully I answered your question correctly. What up, Marco? How you doing? Yeah, let's keep going.
Yes.
Nightwing. Okay, let's talk about a DC book that
We're not on the same page on this one.
Well, hold on. I'm not saying it's not an outright miss. What I'm saying is I'm kind of tired of this being a build up to Titans. You know what I mean? And more specifically, I am ready for the Titans book. I'm ready for the Titans book. I don't care about this little girl. I don't give a shit about this little girl. The adoptive daughter of Blockbuster. I don't care. I don't care. Now, the actions surrounding her, more specifically, this dude that can morph into superheroes and is Wonder Woman and literally like drop kicks this little girl into like the other side of the Amazon island.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty cool. But I don't know, like Nightwing just doesn't feel like a Nightwing book right now. And for a couple weeks, it's been okay. I've been okay with it. But right now, I'm kind of like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing here? If it's gonna be a Titan book, it's just where's Titans? Just get to Titans. Let's just get to it. Like I'm ready for the Titans book, and I'm ready for Batman can do it. Batman can have two different books and then be in Justice League, and they don't connect. So suddenly, it's a problem.
No, you're just creating a problem.
Damn right.
I love this book. This book continues to do everything that I think Nightwing does perfectly, which is a great blend of action, humor, tongue-in-cheek, feelings, and is always kind of keeping you on your. Don't always know exactly what's going to happen next. This whole new bizarre empowered version of Nightwing is very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's gonna go away in like a second. You know it is.
Well, yeah. I'm not saying that I think he's going to last forever. I just think that it's a cool little gimmick. I'm just curious to see where he's going to go with it.
It'll end in one page. Like we'll get Nightwing 104, and it'll be like no, and then it'll go away.
You are cut off of Nightwing critiquing because you are just being ridiculous. Well, this is one of the best books coming out.
I agree.
You're trying to be pissy about it just so you can try to be unbiased.
No,
which is ridiculous.
It doesn't feel like Nightwing right now. That's what I'm trying to say.
And that is just so wrong. It feels like the same book since issue 89.
Nope.
Or 84 or whatever. Whenever he took over the book. I thought it was great. Even without our normal artist on there. Redondo.
I thought the art was great. I just
this guy does our normal backup, and
maybe it's the dude that's like basically the devil. Maybe him. I don't know. I'm not.
Nero or whatever.
Get back to the streets, man. Get back to saving everybody. Where's Heartless? Where's Heartless? That's what I want. I want to get back to that guy because that dude's like, he's got a giant dude's heart in his chest. Like I'm ready for that. I'm ready for Heartless. And right now we're like, oh, this girl. Like, I don't care. Joe says, us Americans don't care what the rest of the world is doing. That's why we like football and not football. I don't know, man. I like football. Marco, what's good, fellas? Thank you for the service. We appreciate it, man. We're doing great. I'm glad you're here. Last, we all love Batman, mostly right, but I'd argue that the fan culture and support of Bleach, One Punch, One Piece, Demon Slayer eclipses Batman. Why? A lot of these mangas, a lot of these mangas are new. So what makes them so popular? The writers are consistent. She makes efforts to make arcs impactful, including dialogue, the foreshadowing. When they put pen to paper, they're here to work, not play. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't say it's the same for anime, like specifically, like I know that's not the you know what you're talking about, but it just comes to mind, like when it comes to anime, my god, and they're literally waiting because of that consistency. You know, when there's like these different arcs, you know, Naruto was atrocious for it, where it would just be like these random ass arcs that made no sense. Same thing with Bleach, and I feel like that kind of killed Bleach. Now that they're finally ending, you know, giving it a proper ending, but man, those filler arcs were awful. All right, let's talk about Donna DC's Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, issue number 1. This is my DC and pick of the week.
That's Jim's pick of the week,
bro. This book was so much fun. I thought the artwork was phenomenal. I thought it was fantastic. I thought the emotion behind the character was very genuine, and I felt for him. I felt for the Superboy, you know, with him being kind of felt left out and kind of the black sheep, which he is, you know. I mean, you're a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor, like we shouldn't like you. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, just seeing the rest of the super family go like, we got this, bro. And so he's like, you know what? I'll go find my own fucking planet to go save. And then he gets his, you know, his head below water, and he's got to figure some shit out. And just, it felt fresh, it felt genuine, fighting these genetically modified aliens. And then at the end, we get a whole new group of I don't know if they're heroes or if they're good guys or bad guys, but it's a problem for Superboy, and they look interesting. They look interesting, and it didn't feel gimmicky, in my opinion. I thought this book was genuine through and through, and I cannot wait for issue 2. I had a lot of fun with this book, and I just to kind of foreshadow it, I think the Super books did a really good job this week. I think they're on the up and up, in my opinion.
Yep, I completely agree. This is again another character that I don't know about that has been a lot of fun, and for me, what really me was that when he just was straight up like, "Oh man, looks like you guys got Earth taken control. I'm gonna go fight in space." It's like, "Oh, thank you, finally, Jesus. Where's all the space?" Here it is. Here's our space.
Right. It was good.
It was really good. I thought this book was a really good example too of one of these more modern hyper digital art feelings that felt good. Like the art, I could tell it was like this was totally made in Procreate, but like it looked really good.
It looked phenomenal. It was so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was fun. Back to our chat. John, manga has a lot of freedom in their storytelling, and Joe, anime is colorful and you can feel the energy, but when I look at manga, I see cheap product. It's so tiny and black and white, it feels like old Archie comics.
That is my biggest problem with manga, is that it is difficult. It is so difficult on the eyes. And I
agree to disagree, but okay.
So there is no agree to disagree. That it is pure science that it is more difficult for the human eye to make out shapes without color than with. That's not an opinion, that's fact. And just because some people don't mind it, that's okay. But like, this isn't about opinion. I'm just saying, like, it does naturally make the product seem lesser. Why? I mean, if that wasn't the case, then you wouldn't be having some of these like super popular animes like Attack on Titan and stuff doing reissues in color. We wouldn't be doing, and it's not just a manga. They're doing the same damn thing with Walking Dead. Walking Dead was all in black and white, and now they're reissuing the whole damn series in color. there's a reason why there's no color. We've been through this like it was a year ago, right? That I went on my huge color rant about
Yeah,
anime.
we got a video that blew up about it. Yeah.
And it's still the same. It is still the same. I totally understand logistically why it's there, but just like in how we talk about how we would rather our consistent creators, whether that's an artist or a writer, stay on their books.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather mangas come out a little bit longer and just color the damn thing so that we can actually see what's happening. Because action in manga is useless to a viewer like me or to a reader like me because I can't see what's happening. I have no comprehension of it, and part of it makes it feel like a cheaper product. So if I'm going to spend $15 on a graphic novel, I'm much more likely to do it on an American comic book than I am manga because I feel like I can actually see what the hell's going on.
Yeah. You still buy them.
I do still buy them. That is true.
That was fun. Anyway, this book's really good. I really enjoy it.
Superboy. Yeah.
If you're looking for a new DC book and you just do it, it's fun. All right, Donna DC's Superman issue number 3, Night of the Parasite from Williamson.
That's Nate's pick of the week.
This is Nate's pick of the week, and I would have been there right there with him, but I felt like we could split it up a little bit so that we've got, I mean, we share the same shelf at Collected, so
it's all up there.
It's all up there. It's all out there to hang out. This was, dude, I don't know what I was expecting from this run. I guess I was expecting the same thing we got from Williamson in his little Dark Crisis stupid event. Like, I hated that thing. So this has just been surpassing my expectations, which the bar was low, but goddamn, I can put it up way up here now, because this has been really good.
This book to me, especially with, I mean, I know it's only 3 issues, but this to me shows what I was looking for when I was enjoying the stuff I was reading from Williamson. Get him off the overall big stuff. That's not him. Get him on individuals or even a team, or just like give him a more narrowed focus. I mean, the dude wrote Flash for like 4.5 years, right? And everyone considers his run to be good. This is what we need Williamson to do. And pairing him up with the second best artist in all of DC is just going to give you a badass Superman book. And I don't even particularly care about this villain that's in here. He seems kind of just annoying to me, this Parasite guy. But don't care. Loved it. Loved the story. Loved the art. Loved the pacing. I think it's funny that we're still somehow keeping up our Clark Kent gimmick throughout all of this. Now that once again nobody knows who Super Family is.
My biggest fear about this book is the inevitable artist change when we're in the middle of an arc, and it's going to totally kill the book. Just totally kill the book.
Well, and that is one of the reasons why Far Sector, I think, is probably one of the best, if not the best thing that DC has put out in the past 20 years, is because they just let N.K. Jemisin and Jamal Campbell do their thing. And they just were like, continuity doesn't matter, release schedule doesn't matter, just make the best thing that you can. And now when you pull that 12-volume piece off, off the shelf, that graphic novel, and just skim through it and look through it and then you read it, it's just so cohesive and pure. And I think you're right. Jamal Campbell's art is so dynamic that it's almost impossible to put him on a book that you're not going to have him do an issue of. And I think that they kind of saw that with he did that book with Brian Michael Bendis. Introduces the character. She was added to the Justice League.
Oh yeah, it was Justice League. Naomi.
Naomi, yeah, he helped create Naomi with Brian Michael Bendis, and I think he did the first run with her, but then they did like a season 2, and he wasn't the artist, and it just didn't nearly as well.
Yeah, and we know it's coming, right? Like, we know that this fall is inevitable. It's gonna happen where we're gonna get an issue and we didn't look at who the artist was, and then we're gonna be like, we're gonna open and go, the fuck, and it'll impact the book, unfortunately. Like, and that sucks. Sucks for Williamson. Anyway, this is Nate's pick of the week, and this cover, I'd say this is the cover of the week for me, even though I know what cover you're gonna pick for cover of the week. I think this cover is fantastic.
I love how you know the things that I don't know.
Because I know exactly.
Is this my cover of the week?
I would assume so.
I don't know. I don't really like the style. I like the image, but like the style, like it's like puffy and
puffy.
Lines.
Bad lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I wouldn't call it my cover of the week.
All right, fine. How was the book?
But is this our only independent?
I believe so because
well,
I didn't put Liquid Kill in there because I just can't. I can't give a proper.
If I get since I gave a Marvel and a DC pick of the week, this will be my independent pick of the week, which sounds lame because it's the only one. But honestly, this book is it's certainly the best of the arc. It might be the best of the entire run so far. It was really, really good. We finally get the meeting between Jason that we've been waiting for the entire arc. They meet in a bar that's called the Messiah Bar, and it has like a big, I don't know if you can see that. It's got like a big cross, red cross, and like it's just the whole bar is like drenched in red light, and it gives me Blade, like 90s Blade vampire bar vibes.
Okay.
And right away, as soon as he went in, I was like, oh shit, this is the house's, like the Butcher House's bar. Like this is not just, Jolie's not just hanging out at a bar at a local watering hole. They own this whole damn thing. And sure enough, that's exactly what's happened. They go in there, they have their kind of meetup, and they're, rekindling because they haven't seen each other since, well, we're not exactly sure what happens, but we find out that it's they were tasked, when they were still kids, they were tasked to kill all of the original members of the Butcher House so that a new faction could take over. And that included Jace's parents. And he saw her kill them, and then the house caught on fire, and debris fell on her, and he couldn't find her. He thought she died in the fire. And that's why he left. Of course, he finds out later that that's not what happens, but he, by this time, is in a different house and doesn't see her. And so this whole time, she thinks that he just left her for dead on purpose. So she clearly hates him for that. She's very committed to the family and all of that. And going on in the background, the kid that he's been trying to save the whole time, well, at the end of the last issue is when they let loose the monster in his, and we see the battle, but we only see it in snippets. And we see skin tearing and ripping and eyeballs getting plucked out, but you can't tell who it's from. You can't tell if it's the monster or the little boy that's getting mauled to death. And at the very end of the issue, one of the last parts of the issue is the little boy opening the door with missing an eyeball.
Okay.
But he has killed the monster. And so that's when Jace learns that it's too late. The kid's already gone through his initiation and been successful. And that's when he starts to panic and being like, oh, I gotta get the fuck out of here, because he just told her about his whole family of the kids in the forest. And she's like, oh, great, new recruits. And he's like, oh shit, I gotta get the fuck out of here. That's when she's like, oh, by the way, the Butcher House got into the watering hole business, and everyone starts swarming. And that's how that ends. So it's a great issue. This was hardly any action, but when there was action in it, of course, like this book always does, it was massively intense, mainly because it's about children fighting monsters, which is just scary in itself.
So that's a good name for a band.
Children
fighting
monsters.
Yeah,
it always reminds me of every time I talk about this book, it reminds me of the band Scary Kids Scaring Kids.
Ooh, classic. The other day I was driving up to McKinney to get to the restaurant, and I put on metalcore. Like, it was like a playlist just called metalcore. I sent you a couple songs, and it just it just reminds me of high school. And I just I literally drove for an hour and just listened to it, and I was like, just like Devil Wears Prada popped up and was like, oh fuck yeah, dude. Like it just takes me back, bro. Joe, Nate, would you buy more independent books instead of Marvel DC books if you didn't have to do fan service for your viewers?
Would I buy more comics?
And then Calvin says, I doubt that you do that, but
no. If I am one of these bleeding heart liberal kind of fellas that feels like you put your money where your mouth is. And so I'm much more inclined, even when the budget's getting tight, to buy an independent comic than I am versus a Marvel or a DC. And so I don't think that there's any independent books that I'm out there going, damn, I just wish, but I've got to get my Superman book.
yeah.
However, Calvin, that is not necessarily true. I just got the entire first 5 issues of the new Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Oh, you did it.
I did it. So because I can't remember if it was Joe or John telling us that we needed last week to watch it, but I got all 5 of those issues so I could read it. So that's not true either. If you guys are telling me and harping on me, I actually someone was harping on me about the current the 2 Captain America books that are going on.
Oh yeah,
now,
I was gonna say
Omega, and I read the first arc of the Sam Wilson one. Not bad.
Oh,
But I didn't bring it up because this is all building up to Civil War, and I read the Civil War issue, and that was poo-poo trash caca. So I was like, oh, maybe I need to back off. So
I need to go. You need to tell me about the Miles.
Yeah, I haven't read them yet, but
Okay.
also Patty and Jaden, it's probably a few months ago now, we were talking about how we were possibly going to do a reread of a classic that you and I haven't read. And I picked up the first volume of Injustice, and I've been reading that too. So I'm like 5 or 6 issues into that, and I was like, there's some holy shit moments in that too. So I think you and I need to probably.
I'm behind on it. I need to
talk about that.
Yeah, I need to get into Injustice. Like I'm just gonna get the DC app, I think, and just read it. And then I want to do I am very interested in the Miles Morales. Did you get all cover A's, or what is just?
I think so. I honestly, what's his name in Mansfield had them all in the back on his wall still.
Okay.
So when I called him and asked him, he's like, yeah, I'll grab them for you.
Okay, I might need to go do that because you know me, I'm a stickler for cover A's. So.
Yes, I do.
I think you would love Punisher book. It's a deep character study on marriage versus military.
Ooh, interesting.
Marco, I haven't been reading HOS. What was it? Is that a?
But nearly heard it. How's the slaughter? This one.
Oh, How's the slaughter? I got it. Yeah, I was like, what is that? You got me wanting to dive in. Yeah, Marco. That's why we're glad you're here, because that's what we like to do. We like to we just kind of just sneak you in from the back, and then you're like, uh-oh, and then you just get all kinds of fun stuff.
I knew you were
going to. The minute I said that, I knew you were going to be like, oh, did you know what you said?
Marco, by the way, if you have been reading Something's Killing the Children and Love, House of Slaughter is just like a massive expanse of the world of Something's Killing the Children. The first arc, so issues 1 through 5, and then 11 through 15, they essentially follow each other. And there's one arc in the middle that actually was quite dense and difficult. So issues 6 through 10, maybe read out of order. It won't change anything. It's even the same writer for issues 1 through 5, and then 11 through 15. So I would read those first, and then if you really, really like them, then go back and read 6.
Patty, he can't give his favorite moment yet because I haven't read it yet.
Favorite Injustice moment so far? Close your eyes. It's obvious, right? Like, it obviously has to be the like, and then yeah, I mean, like, I know that's the beginning, but like, damn.
Should I open my eyes now?
Yes.
Okay.
Calvin, I know. Calvin, what in the Ultimate Universe do I need to read? I mean, because I literally thought about that. I saw the event and was like, God damn, okay, I gotta get learned on my Ultimates.
You would assume Marvel's probably setting it up on the app. Like, here's what you need to read before Ultimates.
I guess I just gotta read every Ultimate comic.
No, you can't do that. You won't have enough time. With all the shit that we're reading, dude, we read.
You haven't thought of the time.
No, seriously, we read our comics, right? Then we read these books, Injustice and this and that, and then
I'm also reading 2 novels right now.
Right, you're reading novels, and then I've got literally a wall of manga right next to me that I gotta read.
Oh my god!
I mean,
my manga to read list keeps growing. Some dumb idiot keeps buying more. Yeah, I'm sure yours is bigger than mine. This is mine.
Of course, mine's bigger than yours. Let's see, Colorless. What do you got? Okay, ready? You ready?
Yeah, I got Colorless and Bleach and Goblin Slayer and Crazy Food Truck and
Hey, I got Crazy.
Battle Angel, Alita, Chainsaw Man, Attack on Ultimates Volume 1 and 2. Okay, that's not too bad.
The other 5 Evangelion omnibuses.
Oh shit!
These
you
are
bought
3.
All of them?
Yes, so these are 3 volumes in each one. Right?
That's 15.
I've got this entire arc of Cube Arts that I got to read. I can't. There's more than, I've got more over here. Like, I've got a ton.
Yeah.
But do I enjoy it? 100%.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Now that we're out of that. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for issue 128 or episode 128 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. Yet again, I will remind everyone, just because I have to, I got to do my due diligence. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and give us a like. It would be greatly appreciated so we can hit our subscriber goals and give away some slabs, guys. And, the minute we hit 1,000, we're just going to keep moving, and we're just going to keep pushing forward to that one day where we're doing this full time, and me and Nate are doing this podcast face to face, not in 2 different rooms across the city, but in the same freaking room, built out, looking kick-ass. It's gonna happen one day, guys. We're gonna do it. One day it's gonna happen, but we can't do it until we hit these sub goals. So the first step is to hit that 1,000. So John wants to ask you, as a fan of horror, have you seen Evil Dead Rise yet?
I haven't. I really want to though.
You're going to? Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to, because I don't have anyone that'll go watch it with me. So.
Misty won't go?
No, she don't. I mean, she will, but she doesn't like.
You don't want to put her through that.
I don't want to put her through. But she will watch it with me.
That's admirable. Honorable. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure to, like we said, do all those things, and then be on the lookout for new Comic Book Day video this Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then, God willing, we will do our top 5 pick free Comic Book Day video, which there is some good stuff coming out that you need to be on the lookout for. Some first appearances, as always. So be on the lookout for that. We will get that done at some point. When we will get it done, I don't know, but it'll obviously happen before New Comic Book Day. But just be on the lookout for that. But yeah, we'll see you guys next Tuesday, and then obviously live next Sunday, 8 o'clock here on YouTube. As always, fam, be kind to one another and read more comics. Later, guys. And we appreciate all of the good nights and great shows, guys. We really do.
Oh, thanks.